Hi, today I wanted to do an update on my Ecuagenera plants. It just happened that during this season I made 3 orders from Ecuagenera. And so this video will be a combined update on all of them, on all 3 orders. And the first order was in April and contained mostly Phragmipediums. Then the second order was in June with some Cattleyas. And the last one was just a couple weeks ago, at the beginning of July, with some replacement plants. So I'll start with the first one, the Phragmipedium one. So here are the Phragmipediums that I got from Ecuagenera. There are 5. I took them out of cash pots and gathered them here on this little table. There are 5, so I actually bought 4, and one of these is the half of the plant that Brassocattleya bought, and she's shared one with me. The first one here is Phragmipedium humboldtii crossed with Carol Kanzer. I think it's going to be a pretty nice cross, and I think it's doing really good here. I don't mark the leaves to see if they're growing, but I can see the difference in the old leaves. They're not as shiny, and when the leaves grow in my tank, they're usually shinier and cleaner than the old ones that they come with. So I can tell that this plant is growing. I think the reason behind that is that my fertilizer might have silicone in it. That's what my suspicion is, because all the plants that when they come here and when they grow here, they become shiny leaves, and I don't do anything special for that, only fertilizing. And there's a bunch of roots growing too. See, there's lots of root starts. The thing is that all these plants, they came large and some with spikes, but there was either no roots or rotted roots, and there was absolutely no root tips, new root tips. But now you can see the roots there growing inside the pot. There's lots of root tips. So I think this plant is doing great here. I grow it inside of my tank. It's very compact. See, it's a small plant, compact. It can be in a tank, no problem. So that's humboldtii crossed Carol Kanzer. This next plant is actually the plant that I didn't buy, but I got it from Brassocattleya, who bought it from Ecuagenera at the same time as me. It's a half of her plant of Eumelia Arias. And this plant is doing also great. See, there's even root coming up at the bottom. Really cute. So it's producing a bunch of roots. And the new growth on this fan rotted. So everything inside there rotted. And I put lots of cinnamon to keep it still alive, because I hope maybe it will produce me new growth in the future. But this one is growing, see? I'm hoping maybe when it grows big enough, maybe it'll bloom. Well, we'll see. But again, you can see like this is a new leaves and new growth that's really shiny. Now, because of that fan rotting at the top, I did not put it inside of tank. So it's growing here on this little table. And I think it's doing great too. So Eumelia Arias. And this one here is Phragmipedium Waunakee Sunset. It's supposed to have very bright orange little blooms, kind of like the say species. And it did come with buds which blasted and rotted. But again, plant is recovering well, except these two new leaves started having some spots. They're brown and they're pitted, you know, on the leaves. And if you watch Ed's orchids, he has lots of Phragmipediums, and today he posted video, or yesterday, like recently, he posted video about his Phragmipedium Ainsworthii that he divided. So that Phragmipedium has exactly the same spots that were appearing on my new growth. So Ed thinks that it's fungus, some kind of fungus, which is probably what it is. And all I did, I just cut the leaf and put a dragon blood on the, you know, on the cut. So hopefully it'll stop. And yes, this plant was inside of tank up until now, but because of those spots, I removed it. I'm gonna keep it here on this table for now, because I think humid conditions might actually encourage the fungus coming back, and I don't want it to spread there in the tank. But other than that, also there are new roots. See, they're inside, and they're in the pot. And these two new growths actively growing, and there one new growth there, one on the other side. So I think also this plant is doing well. It's adjusting here, and it's growing, and maybe I'll see the blooms at some point, if that fungus doesn't kill it. Hopefully it won't. Hopefully I stopped it. So that's Phragmipedium Waunakee Sunset. Now this is Phragmipedium Fritz Schomburgh, which was actually the healthiest looking, and it had a huge bud, but on this growth, but rotted, dried and rotted. And for now this plant is plain dead, so it does not grow any leaves. There are two new growths that started before I got the plant, but I don't see any new growth on it. And there's no new roots appearing even. Like I've repotted it a couple times just to check the roots, and there's none. Everything is rotted. And at the base there is a little bump there. So it might start growing at some point, or it might not, I don't know. But for now, there's no progress on this plant. And since April, I think I bought them at the beginning of end of April. I think it should have done something by this time, but it didn't. So we'll see what's gonna happen. It might be another. I already bought several Fritz Schomburghs, and I wasn't able to keep them alive, so this might just join the others. Or maybe not, we'll see. I keep this one inside of tank because I want to encourage the roots growth. Now there are spots there. Do you see them on the leaves? They don't seem to be progressing, but in a hot and humid tank they might. But at this point, this plant either should grow the roots and survive, or rot in a tank and die. So that's Fritz Schomburgh. Not sure of the outcome of this one, we'll see. And one more Phragmipedium that is kind of hanging on a thread is Peruflora Cirila Alca. Also, these two growths were used to be one plant, and both of them had spike starts, but both of them had them rotted, like right inside. So there's lots of cinnamon inside of those growths, and the roots rotted. And when reporting this this growth came just right off. It has no roots, so I'm just holding it there, hoping that maybe it'll grow something. But this one have some roots, maybe one root started. You can see it. And yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with this one. So Peruflora, Cirila, Alca might not survive. So out of the 5 plants that I got, 2 are hanging there and 3 are doing very well. So it's kind of success, with the hope that these 2 do something. So those are Phragmipediums from April. Now the next order was at the beginning of June, and it included mostly Cattleyas and one Dendrobium, cuthbertsonii. And so let's see how they're doing. Now this large Cattleya was supposed to be Keowee Mendenhall, but it wasn't. It came with buds which bloomed, and it was clearly not Keowee Mendenhall. And eventually, with subscribers' help, I figured out the ID. It is the exotic dream crossed with LC Gold Digger. I decided to keep it because it was really nice. It had nice flowers that I liked. A combination of yellow and pink. The flowers were pretty, and the plant is pretty strong. Although besides blooming, it didn't do yet anything. I was hoping that it would start a new growth by now, but it didn't yet. So, but I'm hoping. I mean, there's no roots, of course, just maybe a couple roots. But the canes are large and strong and green. There's no rotting or any issues that I've seen. So, hopefully it'll start a new growth soon. So that's it's a good plant, I think. This one here is Brassocattleya Fuchs, which is Brassocattleya crossed with Cattleya maxima, and this one is doing really great actually. It started me 3 new growths, 1, 2, and 3. See, they're doing really well, and it's already like all of them are growing new roots now. So hopefully at least one of them will give me a bloom. And this plant is pretty healthy looking, and it's compact, so it fits on my windowsill just perfectly. I'm giving it a lot of sun, and it's not burning, which is good. So it's sitting right on the windowsill with all the sun there, and it's doing good. So this is a good purchase, I think. Brassocattleya Fuchs. Now this very tiny dendrobium is Dendrobium cuthbertsonii. This is like when I received this plant, I liked it so much. The the leaves, texture of the leaves, it's awesome. It is very tiny, but it's growing. I can see, like, I think this leaf grew new under my care, and this another one too, and there are some new growth starting at the bottom. See, there it is. So it's not big. Like, I've seen people doing unboxings with cuthbertsonii. They've been getting larger plants, but it's okay. I mean, it's healthy. It'll grow. As long as it's healthy and it's growing, I don't mind if it's small plant. Hopefully I will see the blooms. This is cuthbertsonii orange. There's many different types, many different colors, variations, so this one would be orange. And last but not least, This is Cattleya or Sophronitis bicolor, and it was like, it is so tiny, and it came without any roots and with some brown or black at the base, so I was absolutely not sure what will come out of it. But look, there are roots growing. I'm very patient with this one. At first I tried to pot it up, but then I realized that any pot that I have is too huge for it, so it'll be staying too wet in there. So I decided to mount it, and I put very little moss because I was afraid that too wet at the base will promote the black rot or something, you know. It's living in my tank, which is humid, because I know that they like humidity. But in my tank it can be fatal because too humid and not enough circulation, air circulation, might cause the rot. So I put very little moss, and I put it right underneath of the fan, right under the fan where it's blowing. So it dries out every day, and every morning I water it, and I water it with rainwater. I collect rainwater from my Phragmipediums, and so this plant is privileged to that water too. So every morning I water it with rainwater. And look, there are 3 roots growing now. Hopefully it'll stay here with me. So that was the last plant of the June order. And there was also Cattleya or Sophronitis coccinea, which came rotted. So the next order would be just to get the replacement for that one. And this is the last order, which just arrived a couple weeks ago. Actually, beginning of July. I think July 1st it arrived to Canada. So let's look at these plants. So this is the actual Keowee Mendenhall, hopefully, because I won't believe it until I see the actual flowers, and it did not come with buds. In fact, it came with very damaged roots and pretty dry out canes. So, and well, within 2 weeks nothing happened yet. No new growth, not even active eyes on this plant. So we'll see what's gonna happen. Maybe it didn't because it was shipped from Ecuador, and the season there, maybe it's just dormant for now, and it didn't wake up yet. I don't know how long does it take them to wake up. Maybe 2 weeks is not enough, but I hope it will start growing me a new growth. For now it's just doing nothing. At first I put it on a windowsill beside my Fuchs star, but then it got very red here, and I thought that since this plant doesn't have much of a new growth yet, it doesn't make sense to burn it in the sun. So I removed it from the windowsill. It's in a more shaded area right now, waiting for new growth to appear. So that's fingers crossed that it will wake up and start growing. That's the replacement of coccinea that came with black rot, and well, this one has some dark stuff at the base too, so I'm hoping that it will not spread. Put the hydrogen peroxide at the base, and hopefully it will follow the steps of the other Sophronitis bicolor, grew me 3 new roots in a month. So we'll see if this one will do the same, hopefully. See, that leaf is going. It's an old leaf. Plant decided to shed it. And there is no roots, no good roots, like at all. But mostly they come like that from Ecuagenera. And I hope that tank will promote the new roots. I'm doing the same thing for this as for my bicolor. I mounted it and I'm watering it almost every day with the rainwater. So when it'll start growing me roots, I will start adding fertilizer and everything. I did give them a soak with kelp max when they just arrived, so maybe that'll help with roots. But yeah, they're not easy plants, these Sophronitis, I think. So I knew what I was getting into, and I need to be patient. Hopefully it'll work out. And this one here is Dendrobium unicum, which I'm really excited about. I saw the blooms on several channels. Ninja Orchids has them, has the video of it blooming. And look, there is a new growth appeared. Like literally after it came, like 3 days after it came, I put it in a coconut husks, same as most of my dendrobiums, and put it inside of tank, and it started me new growths right away, which is really cool. I like it. And there is a little bump. Where is it? Am I blind? Oh yes, here. A little bump there. So I don't know yet what's gonna be, or if it will be something. But the new growth at the base is really promising. So hopefully I will see the blooms next year, because it's clearly blooming sized plant, because I see lots of little old spikes or old whatever flower holders. That's Dendrobium unicum, a good purchase. This is another tiny creature, really tiny. I just thought it'll be fun to have. This is Dendrobium limpidum. So I'm not sure if it's growing or not. It's hard to say. And to be honest, I can only see it good with my glasses on and with magnifying glass, because it's so tiny and my vision is not that great now as I'm getting old. So I don't see if it's growing, but I'm faithfully watering it, same way as my Sophronitis plants, with rainwater, and we'll see what's gonna come out of it. So that's Dendrobium limpidum. I don't know yet if what's going on with it, but it looks good. I mean, it looks green. It didn't yellow, it didn't die. Hopefully it'll grow. And I left the best for the last. This is Dendrobium Nagomi pink, which came with the bud, and the bud is open now, and it is so awesome. The bloom is pink. It's not neon pink as they show on the picture, but I think it might be to do with the condition. Maybe temperatures, colder temperatures would make it more brighter or more darker, more saturated. And my tank is not cold, not cool even. It's pretty warm, but I'm really happy with this color. It's very pretty pink with orange in the middle. I like the combination, and I do like the leaves too on this one. This one is cuthbertsonii crossed with, I want to say Bracteosum, but for some reason I'm in doubt right now, so I'll write it on the screen just when I check to be sure. And it makes the plant a little bit larger than the actual cuthbertsonii. I'll just show the cuthbertsonii beside, see? This plant is a bit larger, but it's just as pretty and it's very interesting. The leaves and the bloom. So I like it. And it has some new growth. There was actually lots of roots. Like this is probably the only plant that came with very good roots to me. They're all the roots were viable, green and healthy. So I hope it does good in my tank. Really like it. Nagomi pink, Dendrobium Nagomi pink. So yeah, that was my update on Ecuagenera plants. Let me know what you think. And what's your experience with Ecuagenera purchases? I'd be interested to know. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.